One hand in the pocket. Okay.
All right, I have a puzzle for you guys today, and we'll see if you guys can get the answer. Well, I actually have two. So the first is a man and a son are driving in a car, going down the highway, going to grandma's birthday, whatever you want, doesn't matter. And all of a sudden, they snow, ice, and they veer off the road, and the father's killed, and the son is in critical condition. Ambulance comes and takes him to the hospital. So they bring him to the ER, rush him through, sliding glass doors open, doctors are running, everybody's going crazy. And they bring him to the ER, to the surgery room, to OR number 1. And the doctor comes in and sees the boy on the table, is like, oh my God, I can't operate, he's my son. Who is the doctor?
Mother.
Yes. Most people would have to think about this for a while, because one, there's a slight sexism going on, that most people assume that doctors are only going to be guys. Also, they just don't think outside the box. They think if the father's gone, then who else is there to operate?
Fine, did you know this
Really?
answer?
Yeah, it's the thing.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's a very famous one. I was trying to find something else, but I couldn't quite. I couldn't
Right,
find
you
that
put me on
one.
that one. Yeah, you put me on that one.
But what we see, what we're doing over here, is that we're thinking outside of the box. You guys have heard it before, so it helps. But as well, it just kind of gets the brain working. So another one is, who wants to play tic-tac-toe with me? Volunteer? All right, well, there.
Do I
Come.
have to
Yeah, you have to come up.
Oh, that's fun.
Let's,
You're on video.
what is,
Well, sir. Well, sir.
not so good. Okay, you want to be next or, oh,
Definitely.
you definitely want to be now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if this works.
Hmm.
Gosh, I can go there.
That's over.
Can everybody see what's going on here?
Yeah. You turned into a double track.
It's not really double track. You still come.
Seriously, please don't do that.
Don't do
Do you know how to take that?
No, sir.
my friend? You gotta know how it works.
Come on,
You know
come
how it
on.
works? I'm not supposed to get 3 in a row. Therefore, yeah. Okay,
Nice.
so logically, I'm gonna go there next. Now it's your turn.
Tell him that he's also supposed to get 3 in a row.
You're also supposed to get 3 in a row. Okay. Yeah, do you really want to go there? Yeah. Now what happened? Did anybody win?
Tie. No.
You're supposed to solve. You're supposed to get 3 in a row. How are you gonna get 3 in a row?
You don't. You just take this one.
If I take that one out? What were the rules?
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, get 3 in a row.
You there?
Okay, that's one. Or I was gonna say you could just add one over here.
Yeah.
You could do that. Just because I made a box around it doesn't mean that you can only go in the box. Okay, so that one might work better. We see what happened here, everybody. That just because I made a box, people assume that you had to go in. All I said was get 3 in a row.
I was curious why you made the box in the first place.
Okay, somebody's thinking. Now somebody thinking. Okay, very good. So the concept here is people think in boxes. So anybody, what are some examples of boxes that exist in the world, in society, or that already
Just
box?
says.
That is one. What, any other ones?
Family.
Let's write it down. Okay, society.
Like orthodox in society.
Oh my god.
So what do you mean by that?
Like people think that orthodox do that because they go with black hats and black.
Oh, so let's call that clothing. Should we call that clothing? Does that work?
Sure.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, clothing is part of it. Yeah, it
Okay.
makes a big difference.
Clothing. Any other ones?
We can't think out of that.
So what's the question again, sir?
What are boxes that exist in society
Behavior,
or
manners.
in the world?
Behavior, manners.
Behavior, rules, manners. Okay, that's good.
Rules, games.
Okay. Rules, behavior. These are all very good. So examples of these would be behavior. We all know that the British have more etiquette than Americans.
Sure.
They love shoving in our face. Rules. Rules. Certain homes have different rules, whether you are allowed to stay out late, whether you're not allowed to stay out late, depends how your parents raised you. Clothing we have, whether you're Rebecca Shaw or Schreimel, or you're wearing a colored shirt with some high tops. Society, just like what you think is, that could also lead to what you think is right and wrong. So, here's a more modern example. What do we all know that happened over Shabbat, on Friday afternoon actually? Terrorist attack. Hundreds, not hundreds, but we have a significant, a very large number, terrible tragedy that happened. So the question is, are those terrorists responsible for their actions?
Of course they are. What's the question?
Okay, why would you say that they are responsible for their actions? I agree with
Because
you.
they did it. I mean, you have to think before they're doing something. Like, why are they killing people?
Responsible, he's responsible
Why
for
they're
his
killing
actions.
people.
What?
Killing people because
Let's say-
The question is how you're.
Yeah, that's what they says in the Quran. They grew up in a very Muslim society, that's all that they know. All
Someone
that they know
brainwashed
is-
him that this is
They
it.
can't think out of their backs. I mean,
What should be, just because somebody grows up, let's say somebody lives in the middle of a forest or something like that, and they know, it doesn't really apply nowadays, because there's a reason, why should people think
Person is
outside the box?
responsible. If I pull a gun, there could be a lot of reasons why I pull it, but I'm responsible if that person's dead.
So you're saying more or less that there's a free will going on here, that a person chooses to do what he does.
Of course.
There's a free will, he pulls out a gun.
He is
But
the
you could say that's all he knows.
He is the
He thinks he's
cause
doing
of
something
this
right.
happen.
Granted, he's the cause, but he thinks he's the cause of something wonderful.
You asked, is he responsible for what happened? Yes, he is responsible. Whether he's right or wrong for what happened is another.
So his question
so
was,
is
is
society-
responsible meaning if
So let's say
it's responsible
society
and
now
wrong, then
decides
wrong.
that's okay thing to do, is this okay thing to do?
Self-understood. Did you
So
mean
we're
is it
not
wrong?
you had something to say, or you had something to say?
No.
Okay, so because of free will or things of the like, that these people are responsible. And the reason in this type of, and I agree with you, just want to make sure, I wanted to be clear with that, but the reason people are responsible, what should cause somebody, let's say disregarding right and wrong, what should cause somebody, if that's what he grew up with, that's what he's been taught, he went to the Gaza school for kids where they roll around practicing maneuvers with AK-47s to kill infidels. Like that's what he's grown up, that's what he is. Now what should spark his responsibility? What is the thing making him responsible? If that's what he's grown up with, that's his ideology,
one
that's his
thing
thing.
to do it to him.
I'm looking for a very specific thing over here. That happens today with
we're
widespread,
saying-
with the internet and things like that, and just living in the world at large,
You can
not in
find
some
out.
far off.
You can find out basically whether it's right or wrong. So
How can he, okay, so you're saying close.
Person
That
has
I'm looking
responsibility.
for-
It's accessible for him to find
Yes,
the
it's
truth.
It's accessible. See, what Danielle is saying was more or less, that because he knows that there's an existence of other boxes, there's an existence of people that don't hold like him.
But he wasn't taught to think out of the box, so you get back to the same question now.
He wasn't taught to think out of the box, but at a certain point, so let's say the 13-year-old, are we gonna hold a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old responsible if they do, let's say a 25-year-old and a 7-year-old responsible? Why is there a tzad to say that we wouldn't hold a 7-year-old responsible for doing that?
I would not.
Exactly, as he said, as Mordechai is saying over here, he doesn't have a mind of his own. So that goes into the argument of when does your mind kick in? When can you think that certain things should be right or wrong? That I should think that just because I'm in this box and not in some other box, that my box is correct. So this goes into the fact that why are we going to hold terrorists responsible? Why are people responsible for their actions? Because they have a mind to think. At a certain point, they have a seichel that they should think that just because I'm in this box, I grew up with this box, that this is the correct box.
Let's go on.
Now we see that this applies to many other things. This can go also into morality, as what we know is right is wrong, or just how we dress, clothing, society, rules, behavior. Let's say, behavior is all we were talking about. Clothing, who knows, a lot of them are interrelated. How do we know if this is right or wrong? My mom lets me go, I don't know, do whatever. I don't have an example right now, but like, my mom lets me go party or lets me go, just like, most of them would be moral examples. My mom lets me go have a party all the time and do drugs and things like that. Just because I'm allowed to do it, is that really what's best for me? Is like, most people will come on to their own thinking when what they're allowed to do and what they have been doing is something that's not so good for them. If they realize that it's not so good, they're going to start thinking. So we have so that's why we would technically hold all these people responsible, that we have to realize that most of us, even not most of us, applies to me, applies to people out there, that they're in a box. But just because you're in a box doesn't mean that that's the only box, or for sure if you're just because you grow up with it, isn't mean that it's correct box. Why do we want our kids to be from? We want our kids to go to Jewish day schools and keep the things that we do. But why? Just because I grew up with it, so I'm going to do the same thing with them? Why should we say that? Why would that be any different than an Arab that grew up with Sharia law, where he's trained that these are infidels and they're not doing anything, and we should kill them because they are not listening to the Quran. So the show is that at a certain point we have a responsibility to think about the things that are happening to us in our environment and what we grew up with, to see if they are correct, to challenge ideas, and to kind of build our own lives and our own ideologies. So then, now that we have that the existence of boxes and that we should challenge them, and that we should challenge our boxes, how are we going to choose what box is correct? If we know that there are boxes, now what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to choose our new box? On what basis? On what factors?
Truth.
Yes? Truth. Why? Why do you say those? Maybe just how I feel. Maybe that's also a good one. Like, can we choose
How I feel.
things off that? Okay. This
What
one.
is truth and what is proof? He was just saying words. Like, what does that mean to them? Proof of what?
How much chance is gonna get?
No, I'm asking him. I'm asking when they said on the studio audience who made up words. And they just said buzzwords, these guys.
Yeah. What does that mean? What is true? What do you mean by truth? And proof. What does that mean? Would you like to clarify?
Yeah, why do I kill people? What is my base to killing people? Because of what? Yeah, I said proof. Now my question is, why do I kill people? Because of what? So let's say because the Quran. First, let me read the Quran. Let me see who made the Quran. Like, if there's proof that the Quran is truth, maybe a man made it up, like we really say. So when we check, we have a checklist, like how many things, how many factors has to be true that I should know to believe it, then I know it's true. But if I can't check it out, or if I check it out and it's not true, then I know that I can't kill people.
Okay. That's proof. What do you describe what
I
you
don't
know?
see the difference between proof and truth. Truth.
Yeah, so that's true. The same. Would you agree with his explanation of what proof and truth is?
Yes.
Okay. So emotions.
No, is proof and truth two different things?
No,
'Cause
no,
the-
The proof is that it's true.
The proof is you're bringing. Yeah, but he's written it as two different things on the board.
Guys,
Two statements.
these are beautiful.
One.
You didn't just know they just had a whole discussion about why proof and truth are the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta listen.
Okay. So emotions now.
Emotions.
We have two things. If we're going to step outside of our box, and now we want to choose a new box. So we have. Honestly, it comes down to as we've discussed, truths and emotions. Now, why would we choose one over the other? Are they both valid options?
I don't think emotions are a valid option
Why not?
because emotions you change always.
So therefore, what? After you've chosen one and it's changed, now what's going to happen?
So now you're just gonna keep choosing a different box.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly. That's just going to keep choosing a different box.
I mean, this doesn't seem healthy.
Exactly. It doesn't seem healthy, and
Truth
emotional
shouldn't-
convictions. You're just gonna It's like an inspiration. Yeah.
Aren't truths just based on the amount of knowledge you have right now? So if you acquire knowledge later on, won't you just choose a different box then too?
Yeah, but see, you're allowed to switch boxes if now you come in with a more holistic view. I think that's different than choosing on emotion. Now you have a more holistic view, and you have acquired more knowledge that is therefore truth. And okay, so it's kind of like the first box is a mistake, kind of, so to speak. Like, oh, I thought I was right, but now I have more, I know more, I'm a more mature individual, I have a wider scope, I have life experience, so now I'm going to choose a new box. You agree with that?
Yeah, but emotion.
Okay, Lazar?
Hi. You said the reason why you don't like emotion, or he basically said, and you agreed with it, is because it doesn't seem right, right? Is that what you said?
Yes, I did agree with that. That's
So
also
it
an
doesn't
emotion.
seem as an emotion.
Doesn't seem is an emotion. So now we're explaining
Okay.
that, as we're explaining that right
So
now.
emotions are a reason for emotions not to be a reason, huh?
So the reason that we're going to get to that, we're in the middle of explaining that.
Doesn't make
Good. I did kind of contradict myself there for a moment, but so the reason it's not good is when I was going, that's what I was going into as emotions are kind of like an inspiration. we all know that we go through Rosh Hashanah and things like that, and we all get inspired, we all make Kabbalot, that this year I'm going to do this, New Year's resolution. Every day, people go through it. It's an emotion, oh, I feel so high right now, so I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to change, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to work out every single day, I'm going to start saying Korbanos in the middle of Shacharis or something like that, I'm going to come early, like, these things. So you're inspired, but, so let's say your inspiration is good, but for how long is that going to last? How long are you going to feel inspired? How long do you feel like this is really going to be good for me? And as well, let's say somebody has a really good exposure to something. Let's say somebody goes to they go to like a golf club, something like that, a country club. So everybody, or a restaurant even, a restaurant. This is a very common one. People go to restaurants because the service is good. Not necessarily because the food is good. People can say the food is good or bad, but it's a nice conversation. The lady at the front desk is always so nice. They're not so makbid on this or that. Or if they come around often with drinks. I'll go to a restaurant because of that. They come around often, I think it's half filled. Technically I'm supposed to pay for another Coke, but they refill it anyway for me. These types of things. But then what happens if one time, that all seems good. We all can agree that that's why people would make such a, go to that specific restaurant even if the food is like questionable. But at the same time, let's say they get a new cashier, they get a new waiter, or waitress, they get a new front desk lady, and she's like, wait, no, I'm sorry, you didn't make a reservation, you can't go in, I'm sorry, you're not on the list, I don't see your name, get out. Like, what are you talking about? Can you hold time? Okay, fine, so can I wait? Can you wait me for a table? Like, no, you have to call beforehand, we can't service you tonight, other people have reservations, or that, let's say your waitress spills on you. That's like, oh my god, you just stayed my wonderful, you go out to eat with the whole family, everybody's kind of dressed nice, or it's after you went to the theater, that's something that my family would do. You go to a play and then go out to eat, so you just have the whole thing, you're all dressed up, you wearing all your nice clothes, and they spill something on you. Or they don't, or whatever, any of these types of things. Like, so your emotion towards that restaurant has now evaporated. You changed. It's transient. It's all based off an emotion. If you're going to make life decisions on what box you're going to be in, based off emotions, when you have a different life experience, you have more experience, you realize that the world isn't all butterflies and flowers, then you're going to pick a new box that seems better for you.
Isn't that change of evidence?
No.
Change of evidence.
No.
No, because it's not necessarily, what do you mean by evidence?
Like I'm saying, like something changed, your knowledge changed, and you know some more. Something changed. That's why you're switching your
Is
emotion.
that a knowledge about the restaurant? Let's say the food is the exact same. It's just now somebody serving you the food is not different.
Well, you were not looking for the food. You were looking for the service, and now the service changed. So
you originally go
the
for
reality changed.
food and the waitress changed. Like,
You were looking for the service, no?
No, you're
That's
not
why you
going
chose
for the
that.
service. I'm saying we said that the service can make you nimshach after that restaurant because the service is good. The food might be so good. You went there the first time. You tasted the food. It's okay, but you decided to come back again because the people are so nice. It's not evidence about the restaurant itself, just the people serving. So you have like an outside effect on you.
It's not the restaurant, it's the food.
Okay. I understood you're going because you enjoy the
You're not going
service.
again because you enjoy the service, and also you're not only going to the service. If I want to go to a social club and talk to the waitress, then I would go to a social club. I'm saying you're also going for the food.
True. So 50% was food, 50% was the waitress.
Okay, but
You go for food, the question is why should you pick this restaurant over a different restaurant?
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm saying.
It wasn't great.
So he chose the restaurant because of the service, and now the service is not there. So he.
Okay, it's not good to the restaurant.
Again, goes to the example.
okay. So
Let's move on.
you may or may not have a good point, but over here we see that if let's say you have. Let's okay, so if you're making life changes, let's say exactly. So and it changes. You're now going to change. It's not stable. It's not unchanging. It's not a real truth. You're now just transient hopping boxes all the time. So again, we have truth and emotions. Now we want our lives to be stable. That's the whole thing that we're picking. That's the whole reason why we're picking truths, because they're stable. I can be confident in them, and how and what is truth or not, but we're not there yet. We're just saying we want truth. Why do we want truth when we're making life decisions and when we're choosing another box? Because truths are stable, they're unchanging, we can be confident about them. Once we've established what they are and that that's true, then that would be good. But that has to be the basis rather than emotions. And yeah, also if you're basing off emotions, your emotions can as we were talking about the restaurant, that it changes the reality, you can view things differently. So in that aspect, that's what we're going to make our life decisions on. Yeah, so next time we're going to discuss how, now that we know that we should make our decisions off truth, how do we get to what is the truth? And how verifying that that's the truth and avoiding the emotional aspect of it. Thank you.